The expression negative 3x to the power of 2 minus 5x plus 2 over x to the power of 3 plus 2x to the power of 2 can be written as, in order to solve this question, we need to factor this expression first. When I factored it, it gave me a factor of negative 3x minus 1 x plus 2 over x to the power of 2 x plus 2. Now that we've done the first step, which is factoring, we need to simplify this expression more. But before we simplify, as you can see here that we have two factors that are the same. So they are going to cancel each other. We're going to be left by these two factors. So it's going to be negative 3x minus 1 over x to the power of 2. Now we're just simply going to distribute negative to the two factors inside this bracket. So it's going to be equals to negative 3x plus 1 over x to the power of 2. Here we're just simply going to distribute x to the power of 2 to both factors that are in the denominator. So it's going to be equals to negative 3x over x to the power of 2 plus 1 over x to the power of 2. Now we all know this rule. This rule says 1 over x to the power of n. Any number that has a power and is in the denominator and you want to switch it to a normal number, it's going to be x to the power of negative n. So the power is going to be negative. So here, as you can see here that we have factors that can cancel each other, we're going to be left by negative 3 over x. So it's going to be negative 3x to the power of negative 1 because I switched the factor. Here it's the same. It's going to be plus x to the power of negative 2. So it's answer choice 4.
m to the power of 5 plus m to the power of 3 minus 6m. So first of all, we want to find the common factor, which is m, because as you can see, all of them have m. So we will put m outside, and then m to the power of 4 plus m to the power of 2 minus 6, because as we said, m is outside the bracket. So these are all the factors that if we multiply, we will get negative 6. Okay, so what we will write is we will keep m outside the bracket, as we said previously. And then m to the power of 2, we will take m to the power of 2 plus 3 m to the power of 2 minus 2. Why to the power of 2? Because if we multiply, we want to get 4. Okay, and this is our answer. We said that this is the answer. How to check that you got the correct answer? So here, check. You will take your answer, m to the power of 2 plus 3 m to the power of 2 minus 2. You will close the bracket. So wait, I will choose different color to show you. Okay, so first of all, you will multiply the first with the first. So we will have m to the power of 4. The first with the second, minus 2m to the power of 2. The second with the first, plus 3m to, and the last with the last, which is minus 6. So m to the power of 4. Then we will add or subtract like terms. which are these two. Okay, negative 2m plus 3m will give us plus m squared minus 6. But do not forget that we still have this m, so we will take it down. And we multiply, so m to the power of 5 plus m to the power of 3 minus 6m, and this is our final answer.
In question number 3, they said 3 to the power of 1 minus 2x is equal to 243. Now 243 can also be written as 3 to the power of 5. So our equation is 3 to the power of 1 minus 2x is equal to 3 to the power of 5, which makes it 1 minus 2x is equal to 5. Negative 2x is equal to 4, and x will be equal to negative 2.
Solve using substitution. We have 2x plus y equals 11 and 7x minus 4y equals negative 14. So the first step, what you're going to do is you're going to choose the more simpler and easier equation. So in your opinion, which equation is easier? You just have to choose one and then write it down. To me, I'm going to choose the first one, which is 2x plus y equals 11. It's more simpler and easier to me. Next, what you're going to do is you want to leave y alone. You want to find the value of y. And by doing that, we can subtract negative 2 by both sides. So 2 minus 2 is 0. We can cancel that. And now you do not subtract negative 2 by 11, because now you have the value of y, which is 11 minus 2x. This one right here. The next step is what you're going to do is you're going to take that number, the value of y, and then you're going to plug it back onto the other equation, which is here. So it's going to look like this: 7x minus 4, opening bracket, 11 minus 2x, closing bracket, equals negative 14. Before you get confused, all I did is just plug that number here on y. So now what you want to do is multiply negative 4 by 11 and negative 4 by negative 2. So negative 4 times 11 is negative 44, and negative 4 times negative 2 is 8. So now what you're going to do is combine the like terms, which are 7x and 8x, and you're going to add them together, which is going to give you the number 15x. And now you're going to add 44 in both sides, as you can see here. So negative 44 plus 44 is 0. We can cancel that. And negative 14 plus 44 is, no, I'm sorry, not plus. You're going to minus it. It's like 44 minus 14. You don't count the positives, which is 30. Now we just have one more step, which is to make a fraction and to divide both sides by 15. So 15 divided by 15 is 1, and it's already there. It is x, so we don't need that. And 30 divided by 15 is 2. So now the value of x is 2. X equals 2. Now we're halfway there. We're actually more than halfway there to solve this equation. Now that we found the value of x, we can plug that number into one of the equations to find the value of y. And as I said, you need to use the simpler and the easier equation in your opinion. So to me, I'm just going to use the first one again because it's more easier, but it's your opinion. So the more easier and simpler the equation is, the more faster you'll solve the whole substitution method. So you're just going to plug number 2 here. So it's going to be 2 opening bracket 2 closing bracket plus y equals 11. So 2 times 2 is actually 4, and then you're going to write down the rest of the answer, the equation, normally. So 4 plus y equals 11. Now what you're going to do, we still want to leave y alone. By doing that, we can subtract 4 by both sides. So 4 minus 4 is 0, we can cancel that. And 11 minus 4 is 7. Now we found the value of y, which is 7. So last thing we have to do is to write the solution as opening bracket x and y closing bracket. This is extremely important. You need to write your solution like this. So we now know the value of y and x. So the solution is 2 and 7. What is solving system of equations using substitution? The method of solving by substitution works by solving one of the equations for one of the variables and then plugging that number back into the other equation. There are 3 quick and easy steps. Step number 1 is to solve for x or y in either equation. Step number 2 is to plug that number into another equation and then solve. And step number 3 is to use that number or answer to solve for the other variable.
Question 5. What is the x value of the whole? G of x equals x minus 2 times the quantities of x plus 6 over x plus 2 times the quantities of x minus 2. The factor in the denominator x plus 2 is the vertical asymptote, and x minus 2 is going to give me the equation of the whole. Step 3. Set the factor of whole in the denominator to 0 and solve for x, so the function has a whole at x equals 2. Quick review. 1. Factor numerator and denominator. 2. Set each factor in the denominator to 0 and solve for x. 3. If the factor does not appear in the numerator, then it is a vertical asymptote. Otherwise, it is a whole.
We have 3 to the power of 2x minus 6 equals 81. What you're going to do is you're going to look at the base number that's on the other side. So here you have 3. You're going to ask yourself, how many times does 3 times by itself equals 81? So again, ask yourself how many times 3 multiplied by itself gives you 81. And I don't mean like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. No. It's just 3 times by itself. So 3 times 3 is 9, right? So 3 times 3 is 9. And then times 3 is 27. And then you're just going to keep going until you get the number 81. So let's just write that. Let's just begin with 3 times 3, which is 9. And then you're just going to keep adding times 3 times 3 times 3 until you get 81. So you can also use a calculator for this, it's totally fine. So 3 times 3 is 9, and then times 3 is 27, and then you're going to write times 3, and you're going to get 81. So now we actually reached the number 81. So again, you're going to count how many times did you use number 3? How many times did you multiply 3 by itself? So 1, 2, 3, 4. We used it 4 times. So we're just going to cancel 81. And we're going to write 3. And then as an exponent, we're going to write 4. 3 because we multiplied 3 by itself. And number 4 because we multiplied 3 by itself 4 times to get 81. So now we can actually solve it like we used to. So 3 to the power of 3 to the power of 2x minus 6 and 3 to the power of 4. So we're just going to write 4 equals, and then 2x minus 6. So we want to leave x alone. So we're going to, here we have negative 6, so we're going to use the opposite sign of negative, which is positive, and we're going to do positive 6. We're going to add 6 in both sides. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0, and then here plus 6. So 4 plus 6 is 10. So we're just going to write here 10. We're going to write 2x equals 10. So 2x equals 10. And now we want to divide 2 by both sides to get x alone. So here divided by 2, and on the other side divided by 2, and then equals means 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So now you have a whole number and you found the answer. So now x equals 5. What are the asymptotes? As you can see here in this question, that there is a graph given. That means that we need to find the asymptotes from the graph. Always note that the vertical asymptote are the x values, and it's always the line that passes through the x-axis. And the horizontal asymptote is actually the opposite. It is the y values, and it's always the line that passes through the y-axis. As you can see here that the vertical asymptote passed through 2, which is x equals 2, and the horizontal asymptote passed through 1, through the y-axis, which is y equals 1. So the answer choice is C, which is x equals 2 and y equals 1. Find the vertical asymptote, select all that apply. For this question, we need to find the vertical asymptote, but here we have two solutions, or two x values, so we need to solve for x. In order to solve for x, we need to apply each bracket equals to 0. As you can see here in the first bracket, I applied it to 0, so x minus 6 equals 0. I added 6 to both sides, and the answer is x equals 2. I did the same for the second one, and the answer was x equals negative 5. So the answer for this question is A, x equals 6, and C, x equals negative 5. Does this function have any vertical asymptote? If so, what are their equations? Unfortunately, in this equation, there is no vertical asymptote because as you can see here, everything is simplified. And when everything is simplified, we can cancel the denominator with the denominator because they have the same signs. So if we cancel them, there is no value in the denominator. That means that there is no vertical asymptote. What is a whole? If there is the same factor in the denominator and the denominator, there is a whole. Set this factor equal to 0 and solve. The solution is the x value of the whole. What is the x value of the whole? Gx equals x minus 2, x plus 10 over x plus 2, x minus 2. So as we said in the last slide that each factor that cancels each other from the denominator and the denominator, this is the whole. As you can see here in the denominator we have x minus 2 as well in the denominator, and these two factors will cancel each other because they have the same signs. Since they are cancelling each other, we need to solve for x to find the whole. So I substituted the function or the bracket equals to 0 and gave me an answer x equals 2. That means that this is the whole. And the answer is A, 2.
Divide, simplify your answer. We have one rational expression divided by another rational expression, x squared minus 9 over x squared plus 6x plus 9, divided by 4x squared minus 12x over 16x. For dividing rational expressions, we apply the same rules for dividing fractions. So we get the first rational expression as it is, times the inverse of the second rational expression. We need to make sure that numerators and denominators for both rational expressions are factored. For the first one, x squared minus 9, those are square roots, so we can write them as x plus 3 and x minus 3 using the perfect squares. Joining it with the other rational expression numerator, which is 16x, over x squared plus 6x plus 9. Two factors of 9, when added, the sum is 6, 3 and 3. X plus 3 and x plus 3. Joining it with the other rational expression denominator, 4x squared minus 12x, we have a common factor which is 4x, x minus 3. Third step, we need to divide out the common factors. X plus 3, x minus 3, 16x and 4x share a common factor which is 4x, okay, and here will be left is 4. So 4 over x plus 3.